Hi, welcome to Call to Reset, episode 9, April 18th, 2021. What is reset? I am continuing to be Donnie, and my hat is off in the house because it's the right thing to do. Before continuing, I just wanted to bring up a couple of things that my brother reminded me of. Last episode we were talking about bricks, and my grandfather used to live in the brickyard in a small house. Don't know to this day whether that's the house or not, but that is him riding a cow. And my brother told me that before he worked on at the brickyard, he used to be a prized milker. So back in the day when there weren't any milking machines, it has to be done by hand. And I guess my grandfather was pretty good at it, so he did a lot of that. Anyway, I also mentioned that the forklifts that picked up the stacks of bricks, there was another name. I can't believe I forgot it, but my brother reminded me of it. It was just a fun name. We used to call them doodlebugs. So anyway, before beginning this episode, I would like to apologize to any and all that have been watching and hearing, listening only, or have been reading the transcripts or the show notes from the episodes. Perhaps you have been involved with a number of these or all of them. At the end of episode 8, April 18th, 2021, I had announced, planned, and prepared today's episode to be Apple of Gold. Even this had been expanded to include part 1 of 2 parts, or 2 episodes. Obviously, by today's title, What is Reset?, my original plans have changed. I apologize for this interruption. I recently received a comment on a social media platform I engage with and post these podcasts to. It is not my manner, to reveal who said the following, but it is as follows. Quote, "So is this a reset for one world order, or a reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation? Question mark." End of quote. My reply was as follows. Neither. I guess you will just have to watch and listen, just read, or watch and listen and read. Donnie. I think I believe my response or reply, if you would rather use this word, is quite simple and quite clear, or simply quite clear. But to what is the comment to me referring to? What is a reset for one world order? And what is reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation? I do not want to spend a great deal of time on this, but I do find it necessary to spend whatever amount of time is necessary. I want to give some sum and substance of reset for one world order and reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation. I am not about to find fault in the comment toward the one who said these things to me. It may not be reflective of the person, but more so of the times in which you and I and we the people live. If the person would just have watched and listened to these podcasts, or listened to the audio podcast, or read the show notes or transcripts I have provided in the form of PDF files, would the individual still have made the comment? The answer is yes. Yes, it is quite possible. Why? In the subtraction of our strength, morals, and the addition or replacement of apathy, we are just too tired or too occupied to care, maybe even cynicism and a jaded perspective, we have and are heavily influenced to interpret almost everything that is said or written by anyone. We prejudge, we judge others and ourselves, and we often project this mindset into everything and everyone. Judge not that you be not judged, it says in the Bible, Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. I understand that this is difficult not to do, but we need to become strong and do the right thing, the moral thing, because it is just the right thing to do. I do understand that it is difficult, if not impossible, to trust anyone. I do not trust myself on a ladder anymore. It's not that I'm afraid of heights or have a fear of falling due to clumsiness. It's just that my equilibrium or balance is not as good these days as it was in the past. But trust is a funny thing. We have to trust someone, something, or others to see that they are or are proven to be trustworthy or not. Like President Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. We need to add trust with the other things needed to build ourselves up. Trust well placed, verified, will strengthen us and enable us to reset our republic. I want to show the definition of a couple of words and their origins as they are used and are intended in call to reset and the reset of our republic. And I want to share a timeline of the word reset. And finally, I want to show the demarcation of reset. I want to show these definitions. Well, this is a good time to get out our unabridged dictionary. Okay? Get out that unabridged dictionary. Well, what does demarcation mean? It's a noun, and from definition number 1, quote, the determining and marking off of the boundaries of something. Dictionary.com. According to the same dictionary, the origin of this word is as follows. Origin of demarcation, 1720 to 1730. It is the Latinization of Spanish I don't know how to pronounce that. Go look it up. Dividing the world between Spain and Portugal, a derivative of something else. Mark out the bounds of, equivalent to, dictionary.com. There is a clear dividing line or a border between a reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation and a reset for one world order. I changed the order of these two words based upon their individual points in time. The first dates to about 1870, 1871. The second is more current and dates to around 2016. In 1870, Congress incorporated the District of Columbia, played around with, let's see if we can do this, Washington, D.C. In 1871, they passed legislation called the Organic Act of 1871, incorporating the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and President Ulysses S. Grant signed it into law. Reset and call to reset is not a reset to 1870 or 1870. It's not even necessary because we the people are still dealing with this law, and it would not reset it to the same things as it has already been set. I reset, or the reset, I refer to deals with resetting our republic to ordinary occasions prior to Abraham Lincoln invoking extraordinary occasions from the Constitution in 1861, and the public safety may require it also in 1861. There is a clear dividing line, a border or a line of demarcation between this call to reset, this reset of our republic, and a reset for one world order. The words reset for one world order are linked to a concept which is currently called the Great Reset. This is not the same call to reset, this reset of our republic. This reset of our republic dates to around 2008. When I began research on my book, starting with these 3 questions. Did I just grow up and out of what I was taught as a child, or did I just change? That was number 1. Number 2, did my country change? Number 3, if my country changed, when was that? Early on, people I confided in or shared my research with said almost word for word the same 3 things. Number 1, why was I never taught this in school or college, university, law school, etc.? Number 2, why has no one else seen this information, picked it up, and run with it? And number 3, why don't you write a book? In 2009, when I did decide to write a book, the word reset was going to be part of it. What else was going on in 2008 and 2009? An often used cultural thing was having a reset button. People were saying, wouldn't it be nice just to have a reset button and start over? The reset button was so popular that the U.S. Secretary of State offered her counterpart in Russia such a button to signal willingness to improve dialogue and relationships which had been damaged for years. The gesture of a reset button almost went awry because the wrong Russian word was chosen, intending to mean reset, but was understood as overloaded by the Russians. But anyway, part of the design of my book included artwork for a reset button, and it is part of the name of my book. There it is, Reset Book. See the little reset button up there? Published in 2012. Okay, so anyway, what about the Great Reset? What is its timeline? In 2016, at the World Economic Forum, abbreviated WEF, in Davos, Switzerland, the concept of the Fourth Industrial Revolution was introduced, and its abbreviation was 4LR. In case you might be wondering what the Fourth Industrial Revolution is, it is basically technology. In September 2020, the WEF hosted the Sustainable Development Impact Summit in Switzerland. What is sustainable development? Quote, after an exhaustive historical inquiry, I can confidently state that the only specified designed replacement economic model created in the history of the world was tenocracy. Thus, it is clear that sustainable development is tenocracy. Excerpt from Tenocracy, The Hard Road to World Order by Stephen Guinness. Okay, what is tenocracy? It is a system run by technologists, scientists, and a certain group of people with specific skills and influence. By the way, it is in opposition to a representative government. Hence the idea of all nations coming together as a new world order. In previous years, the WEF announced its upcoming theme for a few weeks ahead of their meeting. In June of 2020, 4 months ahead, the World Economic Forum identified the Great Reset would be the theme of its annual Davos meeting in Switzerland in January 2021. Its website clearly links the Great Reset to sustainable development. The Great Reset, quote, is a commitment to jointly and urgently build the foundations of our economic and social system for a more fair, sustainable, and resilient future. That's from the www.weforum.org. So you can see the complete link in the show notes. So there you have it. This is all the time I'm going to spend on this. You can, if you like, search their website at WeForum, or you can research an alternative viewpoint, starting with the following article, Breaking Down the Global Elite's Great Reset Master Plan. And that's geopolitics.co 2020-08-29, Breaking Down the Global Elite's Great Reset Master Plan. Again, I'll give you the complete link in the show notes. There is a clear dividing line, a border between, or a line of demarcation between a reset for one world order and a reset of our republic. To be clear, the only thing in common among a reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation in 1871, a reset for one world order, and a call to reset, a reset of our republic, is the word reset. That's all they have in common. I thought what a reset was pretty clear. I asked my wife, and she basically defined it as I understand it, and I am confident that most of us understand the meaning of this word as well. But let's all be on the same page and look it up. Yes, it's time to pull up our unabridged dictionary again and go look up this word, reset. It is also a noun. Definition number 1. Are you ready for this? This is the definition of reset. To set again. Origin of reset, first recorded in 1645 to 1655. And it's a compound word using re plus set. Wow, that's really pretty cool. Well, please note that our founders and at our founding in 1776 would have known this word, and in 1789 when our Constitution was formed. Pretty simple word, reset, though, isn't it? Re plus set, pretty clear. How about the thumbnail image for this episode with a wall of bricks and one brick is missing? Let me just show it to you. There it is. You got a missing brick in a brick wall. All right. Now, there could be a lot of reasons why that is. There could have been damage to the brick for some reason or another. There could be the mortar did not set right. It was too thick. It was too thin. Whatever. They had to chisel out that brick, chisel out all the mortar on top and on the sides and on the bottom, and put a brick back in there again with mortar all around, and also in the middle, the 3 holes in the middle that binds it all together. So that's a reset. Pretty simple, pretty clear. I recently received that comment, and I wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page and that it's really clear, because it is really simple, what a reset is. For whatever reasons, those bricks are removed and dried mortar removed from the top, the bottom, the middle holes, the sides, and or they are reset. From our analogy, figure of speech, in episode 8, who are we, who am I, and who are we? We are the bricks. The Declaration of Independence. The mortar is the Constitution of the United States for America. We, the people, the bricks, authored and ordained the Constitution, the mortar, to bind us all together and it to us. Call to reset is not a reset back to the time we were sold out to the corporation in 1871. It is not a reset for one world order. It is not a revolution. It's not an anarchy. It's not an insurrection. It's not a political party. It is a call to reset our republic. We will now find bricks and mortar in the Declaration of Independence. No, we won't. They're not in there. We won't find it in the Constitution in 1871. It is not a reset for a world order. We will not find these things in the Declaration or the Constitution. Bricks and mortars are figures of speech. They're not true. You know, what's a figure of speech? A figure of speech is a legitimate grammatical usage of words that's truer to truth than a literal statement of fact. It magnifies, it emphasizes the words, it puts a picture, an image in our mind, makes it clear for us to understand. Well, the word reset cannot be found in the Declaration or the Constitution, but the words in the preamble to our Constitution, in order to form a more perfect union, which is also a figure of speech, because you cannot form something more perfect than what is already perfect. It is a goal. It is an inspiration. It is something to continue to aspire to with a goal towards excellence. I have said repeatedly that the call to reset is our right and our responsibility. The word right is in our founding document, but the word responsibility is not. I use this word on purpose. Think of it as this. It is a compound word. Response plus ability, or an able response. Let's take a look at our declaration. From the declaration it says, quote, "It is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government." Excerpts from the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, published 1776. Follow the context and the pronouns to words which come before. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men, all inclusive noun, including women and children, are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, women, it's an all-inclusive noun, and, children, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter and abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Excerpts from the Declaration of Independence. Several times we have seen the word right and rights. We have the right to reset our republic or to alter and abolish it. Instead of the word duty as it is written, I have used the word responsibility. Use the word duty if you like. But what good is duty if we are not a moral people or do not have the ability to respond? We are working on building ourselves up to be able to respond and answer this call to reset our republic. The word duty means that. I just find that the word responsibility is more familiar to most of us. It being a compound word seems to communicate that we can respond to this call to reset because we are able. So that is about as clear as I can understand reset. I trust it is clear to you as well. By the way, the number 9 biblically means finality of judgment. It is 3 sets of 3, 3 being complete, or 3 times 3 equals finality of judgment. In my judgment, I hope this is and was the final time we need to understand what call to reset is, which is to reset our republic. Again, I apologize to you from episode 8 in announcing episode 9. This one would be titled Apple of Gold. I found it extremely important that we all know what call to reset is and where we are going. I will provide an updated PDF file for the show notes or transcript of episode 8 to reflect this change. Done that. On April 25th, 2021, episode 10 will begin with Apple of Gold. There will be a bonus or something extra, as it will be part 1 of 2 parts. Part 2 will conclude in episode 11 on May 2nd, 2021. I can hardly wait. Until next time to discover in episode 10 what is an apple of gold. Until we meet again, have a wonderful day.